おい、聞いてるのか？ん？猿のりか。さてはお前、さっきの電話聞いたら。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 126. Go for Dream, Go's Road to Mew, His Dream. This was the 1211th episode of the Pokemon anime and the third recap episode of this series. Hooray! I know we're all so excited. Before I recap the recap, I'll plug the video I posted a few days ago. I ranked all of Ash's Johto gym battles from worst to best. I said that if that video got 250 likes, I would make a video ranking all of Ash's Hoenn gym battles. And well, we already reached that 250 likes goal in less than 2 days, much to my shock. Still, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it. It's probably going to be a better video than me talking about a recap episode, let's be honest. But if you are still here watching this, then let's get fired up and break down this episode. And go ahead and click like on this video too, because not even a third recap is going to stop me from making a new episode review every single week. The episode starts at the hotel where Ash and Go are staying in Winden, but they're not in their room, and for some reason, Go left his phone there on the table. Just as we see that he's getting a phone call from Quillen, something flashes across the screen, but it's so quick that we don't even see what it is. This unknown assailant rejects Quillen's phone call and tries to unlock Go's phone. It's unsuccessful at first, but eventually unlocks the phone by using the passcode 5555. Wow, pretty secure password there, Go. Now, look, we don't have a lot to talk about with this episode, so let's really get into the nitty-gritty with some of these small details. Look at the apps that Go has on his phone. Now, previously, Go had what looked like Pokemon Go on his phone, but we don't see that here. I think most of these apps are pretty self-explanatory, but I don't know what this app is with the footprints. It looks like something that would be a feature of the Pokedex, but I don't know. Anyways, whoever is using the phone opens up Go's photo gallery. Interesting to see which pictures Go has decided to save on here, and a few taps later, the Rotom phone is offering to tell us information about Inteleon. After reading its Pokedex entry, we get to rewatch a related video, which gets us into our first flashback story of the day, focusing on Go's Inteleon. And since this brought back some memories of Go's Sobble, I mean, come on, this episode is trending towards 10 out of 10 territory. If they're giving us Sobble content, they must be playing to their audience knowing that I'm watching, right? Unfortunately, we do have to move past the Sobble phase, and we get the fast-forwarded version of how Sobble evolved into the Inteleon that it has always dreamed of being. Then Quillen tries to call again, and the call actually picks up this time, only for whoever is using the phone to just hang up halfway through Quillen's sentence. No need to worry though, Danica sends a message immediately after, and attached to it is a video about Project Mew. This was the most interesting part of the episode for me because we actually learned something new about Project Mew. We haven't actually learned that much about Project Mew and very little about how it was created. There has been a lot left up to our imaginations, but this video highlighting each of the chasers actually revealed something, which is that Project Mew wasn't just recently started. In fact, this isn't even the first round of Project Mew, if you will. Danica tells us that Quillen actually became a chaser by having the highest score in the last round. I thought Quillen and Danica had been involved with Project Mew from the start, but this video suggests otherwise, and that's fascinating to me. I wonder how many rounds of Project Mew there have been, and if this means that Project Mew is something that is going to continue for the foreseeable future. This makes me think that this may be the way Go gets written out of the anime, that his Project Mew journey isn't going to end so soon, and that maybe he'll join the Project Mew team just like Danica and Quillen did. I don't know, maybe I'm reading way too much into this, but I really thought that small detail was super interesting, and I'll take any piece of information I can get about Project Mew. I think conceptually it's so fascinating. Anyways, Danica's video gets interrupted by Quillen calling back again, and he wants to know why he got hung up on last time. And this is when we hear Grookey of all things on the other end of the phone. I'm gonna be honest, I had figured out that this was Grookey from like the very beginning of the episode, but I don't really think it was that much of a mystery. Let's transition now to the second half of the episode, which is about a new radio show that the narrator is hosting. This one is called After School Blaze Kick, so it's meant to be a kid's show. Even if these recaps are like 95% just a reused animation from previous episodes, I can still appreciate the witty writing that went into each of them, and that includes the narrator trying to fit in with the kids at the start of this new radio show. The topic for today's show is childhood friends, and luckily enough, the first person to write in is the Port Town Flower Tender, which is Chloe's code name based on the fact that she lives in Vermilion City and her job at school is to tend the flower garden. Chloe has written in to talk about Go, her childhood friend, and this launches us into another flashback, and this time it's the story of Go and Score Bunny, back when Score Bunny was getting angry at Go for not helping it learn Ember. I don't need to recap this entire story for you, but it is always funny to me listening to Ash explain how he connects to his Pokemon during a battle. This guy is now in the finals of the Masters tournament. Right. It was also amusing for me to think back to this episode. I think this was my first episode review that got over 1,000 views, and it was also the first video that I ever had gotten a copyright strike. It was actually because I played this clip of Ghost Scorbunny evolving, and so because of that I had to take that review down. Now that Chloe's story is over, the next message is from a timeless Bayleaf, who happens to be Horace, another one of Go's childhood friends. His message is also about Go and how now they work together and push each other as rivals in Project Mew. This transitions into an extended flashback of the Articuno raid battle, something I'm sure everyone wants to remember. Man, one day I should make a video talking about the strongest Pokemon in the history of the anime. I feel like this Articuno may belong on that list. After we rewatch like half of that raid battle, the scene switches to Go and Gary's battle against Regieleki and Regidrago. They kind of deliberately edit around Shunya and Lila in this, only focusing on Go and Gary. After this, the narrator throws it to a song, which is the ending theme. It was at this point that I thought to myself, no wonder there wasn't a recap about Grookey's story, because Grookey doesn't have any story to recap. The episode wasn't over yet though. We got another storybook segment, and of course it featured Go's Grookey. Of course it did. This segment was just as stupid as the Errand episode that it was recapping, but on the plus side, this recap episode has finally come to an end. I feel like that was an unfair way to end my episode breakdown. I really didn't mind this episode at all. I know so many people despise these recaps, and on the one hand, I get it. We'd rather be seeing the finals of the Masters Tournament or the Project Mew Climax or anything other than a recap, really. However, these recaps are likely only happening because the production team needs time to finish working on these important episodes at the end of the series. I don't pretend to know everything going on with the production side of the Pokemon anime. In fact, I'll admit to knowing next to nothing, but I feel like some of you don't stop to consider that no one wants to be making these recaps. That includes the production team. They are likely only made out of necessity, and as I've said before, I appreciate getting new Pokemon Journeys content, even if technically most of these recaps aren't new content, but whatever. Okay, anyways, I'm giving this episode a 4 out of 10 rating. While I did enjoy watching this, at the end of the day, it was still a recap, so I can't really rate it that highly when comparing it to regular episodes. I did like how these recaps followed a similar formula. They started off with a unique approach, this time Grookey exploring Go's Rotom phone, and then the second half of the episode was once again another radio show. While these recaps do kind of limit what we can see in an episode, we did still learn that new information about the format of Project Mew, so that at least intrigued me enough to speculate more on what this could mean for Go in the future. This was a few weeks ago now, but in case you missed it, I did a collab on Luup's channel where we talked about what could happen with Go at the end of Pokemon Journeys, and if you may continue traveling with Ash into the next series of the anime. Personally, I am ready for a clean slate. I wouldn't mind seeing Go continue on in the next series, but I just think there's been so much negativity around him that I don't want to hear certain sections of the fanbase complain about him anymore. Let's just move on to something new. Kind of a sad way to look at things, but that's my honest truth. Let's move on to the preview for the next episode, which blew me away because Eternatus is back. What? Luckily, it's not here to try and destroy the world again. It looks like the two professors and Leon have managed to calm Eternatus down. The rest of the episode is going to be about revisiting where Go caught Scorbunny, so that should be fun as well. This preview also said that this episode is taking place the day before the finals, so it sounds like Ash vs. Leon is coming up pretty soon. I should probably make a video previewing that battle at some point, huh? Well, before then, I've got a fun video going out exclusively on my Discord server this weekend. I battled 10 of my friends from my Discord server in Pokemon Showdown, and if you're interested in seeing me battle or actually just challenging me to a battle yourself, go ahead and join my Discord server. Thank you all so much for watching. I don't expect many people to make it to the end of one of these episode reviews where I'm recapping a recap, so I know you must be a true fan if you made it this far, and you know I appreciate your support the most. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.